we had a couple of really long drive days, but after all that, we are now at Jackson Center. So right behind me, and like most of this town, which I didn't realize until we got here, is Airstream. We are in the, I guess, the Terraport, and I feel like the spots are pretty nice. They're for being free, they work out really well. They're not like big luxurious spots or anything, but they work. That's our Airstream. And that's our broken window that made it from Colorado to Ohio. On site here, we have seen two 2007 Basecamps, which are, I think they're pretty cool. And quite a few like land yachts and I don't know, just a little bit of everything.
We spent the night last night at the Airstream Terraport, which was Sunday night, and Monday morning we are heading to the Airstream and we are going to do the Basecamp factory tour. We're going to check it out and see how the Basecamp is made. Since we had one for 5 years, I think it's going to be a little interesting. Also, I'm going to add that we have the Airstream travel trailer tour scheduled for when we come back in August. And since we had time this time, we're gonna go ahead and do the Basecamp tour. It wasn't really a planned stop, but we're making the most of it by entertaining ourselves with Airstream things.
Emily's got notes.
I do have notes.
We couldn't film anything while we were doing the factory tour. We took a couple of pictures outside, but generally they're not happy about pictures being taken or video being taken inside the tour.
And it's a strictly enforced policy, and since we're going back in August, we didn't really want to break that policy.
Yeah. So we both did the Basecamp tour. I just thought it was really cool from a manufacturing standpoint. We've been in manufacturing a lot of our careers, so it was kind of interesting to see how it ran. And so the Basecamp tour I thought was really interesting. I do like that they kind of cart everything. So they bin everything for the build in that area and basically pull from that. When the cart is empty, you're done with that station.
I don't have a lot of notes for the Basecamp tour other than it's a 70,000 square foot facility, and it's where they used to make the vans, and then the vans are where they used to make the travel trailers. So they kind of moved everything. So the Basecamp tour is in that facility. They start off with the frame and then add the tanks and stuff, and then they start building out from the frame.
Yeah, they do the exterior first, and then it moves from the exterior back to the to the windows and then the interior, which is, I think, a little bit different than how we've done the Brinkley tour. That'll come in a future video. But we've done the Brinkley tour. That's not how Brinkley puts theirs together. They do the frame and the floor, all the tanks and everything, but then they start building inside before they put the body around it.
The roof.
Yeah. So it's a little bit different when they're doing the build because, like Emily said, they do the chassis and then the tanks and all the water, electrical, gas before they put the exterior on, and then once the exterior is on, they start putting everything inside.
So for the Basecamp tour, they did tell us it takes approximately 1 week to build a Basecamp, and at the time they were running, I believe, 2 lines, so they had 2 kind of going simultaneously. That
tour, just so you know, earlier in this video, you saw us pull up to the travel trailer building, like our coach. That's the wrong building.
Yes.
The Basecamp building is behind the service center.
And you start in the service center, you go check in, they give you the earbuds and stuff, and then you walk to the Basecamp tour, which is directly behind the service center.
Yeah.
I think it was really neat having owned a Basecamp and then watching them manufacture a Basecamp was really kind of cool.
I really wish that had been in frame. There's like a 30-foot limited that just rolled in. Anyway, it was super cool. It kind of spurred us to want to do more factory tours like that. Emily's getting a picture. But it spurred us on to do more factory tours. So when we were in Indiana, we went and toured Brinkley. And then you'll see we went and did Ford. It was a triple axle too. And then we went and did Ford when we were in Ann Arbor. Anyway, that's it. That's our thoughts.
Do you want to talk about the van?
Oh, that's right. Emily also did the van tour. I didn't do that. I was working that day, but tell us about the van tour.
So the van tour, they build all the Class Bs in there. It's a 275,000 square foot van plant. It takes approximately, on the Atlas, it takes approximately 6 to 7 weeks for them to manufacture. So it comes in with just the Mercedes front cab, and then they build out the entire back. If you're talking about the Interstates, then it comes in as a van, either Ram or Mercedes, and they go in and customize it. So for the Interstates, manufacturing is only 7 days. And then I thought these were some really cool kind of tidbits. The exterior paint on the Atlas is 250 hours of painting. So just that, and they put over 15 coats. So they're trying to match 2 different paints, the Mercedes exterior with the back end. So that takes quite a while to do. And they want to make sure that there's no imperfections when they do paint it. And then on the Atlas, they produce about 2.5 Atlas per month. So those are made to order. There is not, if it's going through the factory, there's already an order for the Atlas. And then on the Interstate, they make about 70 or 80 per month on the Interstates.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And then interesting, they install, which we didn't know, they install Starlink on the Atlas, which I still want to look up because I haven't seen.
It's standard.
That's what he said, is that it's installed on the Atlas. And if you order an Atlas, their backlog currently is about 6 to 8 months.
Yikes.
It was really neat watching them work on these vans, especially like the Interstates, because they're working with a shell and then they're like putting stuff in, and then they're doing the same test that they do with the travel trailers. They're doing the water test, they're doing the electrical test, they do a drive test, so they drive it on the Interstate to make sure that it all like works and functions. So when you get these vans, the Atlas and the Interstates, they've been thoroughly tested prior to everything. So they do test all the systems before giving it to a final customer.
Yeah, sneak peek for Ford. That tour, they do a shake and rattle test.
That's fun.
We couldn't get super close to it, but you can kind of see in some of the video, they have like a track where they do this test. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, back to the video.
Well, did you tell everyone where we are?
We're at the Airstream Club headquarters.
Yeah.
So we got courtesy parking for the next 2 nights, so we're hanging out here.
That's the new headquarters building. This is the old headquarters building. Okay. So what's our project today?
Well, so we talked about it last night. Since we are in Jackson Center at the Airstream facility, which is like right, that's actually an Airstream. But right there is the Airstream repair facility, where we got that window behind Emily fixed.
No more cardboard.
That window we did ourselves. This window, I don't know what Bosley, what are you doing under here?
We cleaned all of that today, so we can't be doing anything.
Since we are here, we decided to upgrade our exhaust vent, which we showed you kind of a quick fix to. Anyway, since we were here, we decided to pick up the stainless exhaust vent, and we are going to work on installing it tomorrow. But tonight, we get this foam sheet that we need to cut out a piece of and stick to the new vent before we put it up. So I'm cutting it out, and on the back side, you can see it's not cut all the way through on every piece. So with a knife, I'm just sort of poking it through and cutting the backing. Well, that's a tomorrow project, but tonight I wanted to test fit and just understand it.
Yeah.
We got the stainless steel replacement for the exhaust here, and so we're going to put that up. So the first thing we're going to do is take this one down.
That's
I think this is an easy project.
It is. It's just an expensive one.
Yeah. Look, it stays up without screws on. I don't even have to put screws in it.
Just drive down the interstate. See if you can break another window.
All right. So originally we did this project where we put the little window things in here, the screen holders.
Mm-hmm.
But this one has already loosened up.
Yeah, that's the one we were having problems with when we installed those.
Yep. So what we're doing now is we're going to replace this whole thing with the stainless steel version. And I showed that last night while I was kind of trying to figure it out, just dry fit it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do that. This
Cool.
is the old one. It is done. So just water. I'm doing a little bit of soap here just to get the bug off me. Anyway, just a little bit of water and soap to clean up around it.
We're washing the Airstream 1 square foot at a time.
Roughly.
We cleaned the windows earlier.
There's got little scratches here.
And then when they did the window, that's all clean around the window. So it's just one little speck at a time.
One little piece. All right. The idea here is this little gasket is so the metal does not touch the aluminum skin.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to unpeel the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to stick it on.
Mm-hmm.
So that it's all around the edges here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll push the screws through.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll rehang it.
Cool.
I think it's going to be easier if we do this inside so I have a table to work on.
Okay.
So the first thing I'm going to do is unpeel all of most of this. Trying not to touch it because I feel like that impacts the stickiness. And then I'm going to go over this. I'm going to make sure it hits all these corners. Now I'm going to take the screws and kind of push them through each hole. And now we're going to gently put it in place so we don't touch or scratch any of the aluminum. All right, so the trick to making sure the foam doesn't roll is to use a drill bit and make sure to open up the holes in the foam. And if you open up the holes in the foam, it doesn't try to spin the foam when you're putting in the screws. The other trick is don't carry the screws when you're walking the dogs in the grass. Otherwise, you have to go look for screws in the grass.
It's in here. I had it in my hand and she yanked me.
I'm putting up the drill bits because we don't need these anymore. We will still need the drivers to put the last 2 screws in once we have them. But we're going to run to the hardware store real quick because they seem to kind of have everything at this hardware store down the street.
Man, you can't even tell which 2 screws we lost. My goal is to find those before we leave, but for now, at least we have something in place. Well, that looks fancy. I did want to say that it's been a nice trip to Jackson Center, Ohio. Mm-hmm. And one of the things is we didn't realize how small the town is, but you're within walking distance to a little Airstream coffee shop, the hardware store, a Family Dollar, the auto parts store, which we didn't need to go to yet, thank goodness, and then a laundromat and a car wash. So everything is within walking distance. I mean, you can drive, but it's within walking distance too.
It's nice.
Neat little town. We're gonna go have pizza tonight, and that is, yeah, it's also within walking distance. So that's what we're planning on doing. Right, my buddy? No pizza for you, sir. Today we're heading to the Heritage Center. We're gonna go do a tour there. And then we're gonna come back and hang out until the rain stops.
When I was young, they called me sleek, dashing, svelte. Now, now they call me old granddad. I was born of ingenuity and necessity. You see, it was the 1930s and Americans were being reacquainted to the wild. Automobiles paved the way to freedom on the open road. My creator, Wally Byam, loved camping, but alas, his wife Marion did not. And as they say, happy wife, happy life. So Wally went about figuring out how to have both his loves.
This is a 1948 Wheeland. $1938 Airlight. How fun. I never knew that Airstream made a hearse. So you could transport 14 family members, 20 baskets of flowers. They only produced 32 units, and they were sold for $85,000. This is the Airstream, which I'm gonna have to look up because they don't have a lot of information on it. In fact, none. They just have the camper here.
This is the first Airstream that was built in Jackson Center, Ohio, when they moved from Los Angeles.
It's a flying cloud, isn't it?
Yep.
There they are, posing next to this Airstream.
We're in Jackson Center still. We are heading out today, heading over to Cuyahoga Valley. And we're talking about we need to get diesel. And diesel in town here, you can see in the reflection here at Casey's, is $3.49 a gallon. We're going to use open roads on our drive. So we're going to head from here like down to Sydney and then cut over to Columbus. And then I think it's highway or Interstate 71 back up. But we're going to show you on open roads how much money you could be saving. I've got my open roads card. And I swiped it. And now I need to enter my number. That's my secret number. I don't need DEF today. It has just asked me if I wanted DEF. I want tractor fuel. I do not want a receipt. And I don't have a Sheets card. And now it says remove and begin fueling. I would normally put on a pair of gloves, but this place actually looks relatively clean. So I'm gonna pop this off. The other nice part about this is that these are high flow, which means 35 gallons takes like no time whatsoever. You'll look down here, and that says $3.13 per gallon. So $3.13 per gallon. But we're not paying $3.13 a gallon. In open roads, we're paying $3.04 a gallon. So this gets billed to open roads, and then open roads bills us. It probably works out to a little bit more than $3.04 because we've got to pay a transaction fee. But for the convenience of pulling straight through and not having to like twist around a small parking lot or anything like that, Emily showed across the street it was $3.79.
I just am very proud to announce I did a walk around the whole camper, and we do have all the windows still.
Oh, let's go look. It's on my list. So
window here.
These windows are here.
Window here.
That window is there. That's all good news.
We're doing good.
We now have paranoia over losing windows. Yeah, we're already, that was 29 gallons that just pumped and we're done. That is really nice how fast that goes, because now I can flip the pump off. They also do have DEF here, so nice that I don't need DEF right now, but if I needed DEF, I'd be there. That was 3 minutes from the time I started this video to being full with diesel. We're done. I'm turning the camera off so we can walk dogs, and then we will be heading to Cuyahoga Valley National Park right after this. To make this really fun, we have to replace this sticker one more time when we're gonna head back to Master Applied Coatings and have them redo these windows.
So I'll be really good at putting this sticker on a curved window by the time we're done.
So we got one more.
It's a little bit straighter than last time, because last time these kind of fell off. Oh no!
You got too
Don't
confident.
Tell anyone. Don't tell anyone.
Emily got too confident. It has a totally different meaning when the bottom of the E is gone, because it says Cajun MILF. All right, no longer Cajun MILF.